So what is Incube? I told you October 2016, I did what many of you have done. I walked through the door downstairs, was my first trip, and I discovered this world, right? All this startup, all this corporate partner, and it really opened my eyes, and I really like what I saw, and Mike just mentioned some of the activity that we have had, but I didn't want to stop there, and I was thinking, how can we take some of our employees and actually come through the process here? What if we would handpick some employees from anywhere in the world in our company and bring them here along with all the startup, set them free, and let them work on the business? What would happen? Crazy, Well, that's kind of what we did.
Well, when I see the change in the world today, the acceleration of digitalization, and I see a company like MANN+HUMMEL with all the asset, with all the knowledge that we have, be able to combine the two together and create something completely new out of it, I think that's really exciting. One of the specific aspects of the startup versus large industrial company like MANN+HUMMEL is the speed that the business can be done. So we want to experiment by bringing a team over here. They will be in the right environment, and then they will develop their product or their business in the way they seem fit. So we really want to accelerate innovation and want to be able to incubate those into the right environment. And we think that level of trying new things, of developing new products, will be extremely valuable when they would return into their own organization. Think about those 4 or 5 people as really a company. They will make the decision. They will be able to purchase prototype in a few minutes if that's what it takes. So there will be really no limitation to how they can conduct business. So the speed will be extremely different in the way they operate versus what they're used to into a large corporation that will require much more stringent processes.
So I mentioned those 3 words today, which is the adaptation from running lean to our company, customer obsession, speed, and innovation. So we are going around the world today and preaching those concepts to our employees. And then we come here to Silicon Valley, and then we realize what those words actually mean, right? So we talk about something, but then we don't really understand it. And so the whole point was to enable some of our folks to actually go through this and actually get it from living it. So the program is actually open. Every 6 months, we are going to bring to this office right here 5 people. Anyone from the company can apply. There's no limitation. The only limitation is we ask that folks are employed for at least 2 years with us. But they can come from any department, production, purchasing, IT, engineering, sales, anywhere in the world. We have done 2 selection process. So the first one, the team is here today, and Ellie will tell us about what they are doing. We had 67 volunteers worldwide. We picked 5. And right now we're in the process of selecting the second cohort that will start in July, and there is 64 people that apply for that one. So we plan to bring every 6 months 5 of those folks into plug and play. There's really 2 reasons if you think about a program like this. The one is the cultural change. Giving the chance of some of those individuals to come through here and to relearn what really speed and agility really means. So you can even call that more or less as an HR training, one of a lifetime experience. Most of the folks that are in that program, it's probably very unlikely that they would have ever been, that they would have come to Silicon Valley. They work for us in one of our division, so they are not really into this corporate entrepreneurial world. And so we take them and we give them a chance to come through here. So there is the cultural shift. But obviously the next one is about businesses. We hope that we can find really new businesses and another way to fuel our corporate venture activities. I don't want to bore you too much with a lot of the details. Maybe some of you are interested to know more, and I'm happy to share more of the details. Probably would have an hour to tell you how we operate, but this is the program, the way it works. So everybody can apply. We picked 5. It starts about a month before coming to Silicon Valley. We have a boot camp. So imagine, 5 people from potentially 5 different countries. They have never met before. They come to Stuttgart and they have a boot camp for a week. We give them course on agile, running lean, Scrum, how to deal with decision making in a fast-paced environment, how to deal with conflict in a self-directed team. And then we ask them to start thinking about a business. So it's really from day one, it's like a startup on steroid. They have to be really fast. They come here either in July or in January. They spend about 2 months here. After 3 weeks, they have to have picked their ideas, their business ideas, at the latest 3 weeks into the program, so very fast. And then we do a retrospective in Germany. We bring them to Berlin to experiment with the startup environment in Berlin. Again, for them to learn the startup world, but also to start working on their ideas and their projects. So they start to discuss potential pilot with customers, customer interview, customer journey, and so on and so forth. They come back here, and thanks to Candice and the Plug and Play team, we actually are integrating our team into the Plug and Play startup program. And they're going through the 3 months of the program. Then in about 4 to 5 months in, they actually go to Asia. We bring them to Shenzhen and Singapore. Same story. Look at startup environment, look how people are working, and work on their project, talking to customers, pilots, because obviously every project we run at globals. They come back here, they graduate from Plug and Play. There is demo day in June 15th, if I recall right. And in June, they have to make the pitch. They have to make the pitch to the venture team, to Mike, myself, and the CFO. And they have to convince us that we actually invest into their business. And if it's a go, then we'll create the company, we'll go forward. And if not, which is not the worst thing that would happen, they will take all that experience and go back to the organization and really continue to fuel that cultural change that we really need in this day of age.
Incube gives us a chance to show what we are capable of. Every day we find new contacts, get new leads, find out about new technology which we possibly can integrate into our products, and therefore it is not something you're getting used to.
Over there you can actually get together with the startups, and everybody is really open. They talk about their technology, they're open to listen about your technology, and it's a daily brainstorming basically with them.
Having worked for MANN+HUMMEL for nearly 10 years now, I'm really coming from the corporate side initially, of course, which means that I'm very used to having clear processes and clear structures within an organization, and therefore also a very limited scope of working field. Now, the difference to Silicon Valley in the end is that every day there are so many new tasks that we have never done before in our whole life, and in Silicon Valley you just dig in, you just do it. You try it, you probably fail, but then you just redo it again and you make it better.
So we have Ellie that is here. Ellie, she's our local CEO of Incube. She's based in North Carolina, originally from Iran. Then we have Isabel. She's from Germany. Then we have Carlo, also from Germany. Then we have Marcel, also from Germany. And we have Min Sing from Korea. They all come from different departments, purchasing, engineering, sales, and they have never worked before. And now not only they work together, but they live together. So they just love it. And before I give the chance to Ellie to talk about the product, and you will see actually the outcome of what this is, it's really about preparing ourselves and our employees for the future. We're very serious about how we need to adapt ourselves and adapt our company to work different and to prepare for the challenge of the future. We talked about taking people out of the corporate shell. It seems like we are protected by this corporate shell that kind of, there's always a guideline and a procedure and a department and a manager that protects. I think a lot of you guys here in the startup world, you don't have this corporate shell. You're on your own. You got to make it happen. You got to get that cash in or you're going to die. And so we try to really replicate this with those guys. And it's again the speed and the can-do attitude. And this is, I was here 2 weeks after they arrived here, and the story that they were telling us and the positive cultural shock was really good. So I would like to invite Ellie now to show you actually what the business is. And as you listen to her, I would like you to think about that this is only 2.5 months of work. So Ellie?
Hi everyone. It's actually my first time on stage that high. Sorry, it's a little bit creepy. Thanks, Charles, for the great presentation. He actually he said all the lines I wanted to say. I think I would be repeating him all the time. But it's a pleasure for me to be here since January, as well as in this event and presenting to you guys. I'm the great team which we're working together. We're going to talk about CLAIR, which stands for Clean Quality Air, and it's for commercial buildings to provide everyone to experience breathing clean air indoors. I'm sure you've heard about air quality in general, and whenever we were talking to guys, asking them, what is the first thing coming to your mind about the air quality and air pollution, they said, oh, it's really bad in Asia. And it was like, yeah, of course, it's pretty bad, but what about indoor air quality? And we realized that whatever is going on inside the building can be totally independent from the location that you're at, as well as what's going on outside. Outside air quality can be affecting it a little bit, but a lot of dynamic factors inside the building, like people, means of use of the building, the age of the building, the material that's used inside that building can also affect it. There is a lot of research that shows how poor indoor air quality can affect people's health as well as productivity of the employees. And that's what we're going after. Actually, we had a quite good, or I can say, yeah, good experience talking to some folks in Bay Area. One of the big tech companies actually had an operation manager, which also, she had an asthma herself, and she was going through the buildings to actually be able to manage everything and make sure everything is good. They had big problem with the air quality. They had they rent this big old building in downtown San Francisco, which is pretty, it's close to highway, as well as it was like an old train station, I guess. And as soon as you walk in, you can smell it. And she started coughing as soon as she walked in with us. And we asked her, okay, did you try anything? Did you try anything to solve this problem? She said, yeah, we went for filtration scouting. We found like some different filters, tried to get some advice from air quality monitoring companies, as well as we found these devices that we can actually monitor the air quality inside the building. But what she told us is that I don't know what to do. I have all these good tools in my hand. I see the data coming out of the air quality monitoring. They're great. They're showing me the information. But whenever it shows me it's red, it's bad indoor air quality, what should I do? Stop breathing or run outside? What should I do? And then when I want to select a filtration solution for my building, where should I know which one to pick? Is it based on the advertisement? Are the advertisements right? They actually switched to a more expensive filter, but it didn't help. They went back to the original filter that they had. So they're still struggling. And then we, as a team, sat together and started brainstorming that what can we do to help this and solve the problem. I'm actually honored to work with all these talented individuals that are here today. It's a great experience that we're working together. We all have a great, strong background. Mentioned that we have a strong background in filtration. We know how to separate harmful from useful, as well as we know how to interpret the data that's coming out of the monitoring devices, for example. So that's what we came up with. It's Claire, and it's actually a platform. It's an intelligent platform that makes the whole system running independently with least human interaction. So it's actually making the indoor air quality and HVAC maintenance effortless for the operation manager, and everything runs smoothly in the lowest cost. So a little bit of how this thing is working. Actually, we believe that every single building has its own characteristics, like a human. If you imagine one human being, every building being one human being, they have different characteristics. If there is exactly the same building 10 miles from here, it will need a different, for example, purification solution. So we go there and do the venue assessment. We characterize the building, and then we start monitoring the mood of the building. So mood of the building can change throughout the day based on the events going on there, based on the outdoor air quality, based on how many people are in there, or if what is the season, for example. After a couple of weeks, we actually take that data, analyze it, and come up with a personalized solution for that individual building. When we do that, this is actually great because we continue, that's what would it actually differentiate us. We continue looking into the behavior and attitude of the building and keep the air quality level in a clean and healthy level. We do that with the help of our artificial intelligence-based solution. With all the pattern recognition and self-learning software that we have, we can right now, I think up to 25 minutes prediction of what the air quality can be, and we can manage the HVAC system and also the purification system inside the building running independently and autonomously without anybody wants to deal with it. And that's not only with the temperature CO2 that it's right now today, it's regulated based, it's also with all those particulate matters or the smelly or non-smelly gases that can be harmful, but since we don't see it, we don't realize it. So I talked about what we do exactly, so this brings us to our core competency, which is the first and most important one is the data intelligence. We know how to analyze the data, and we know how to interpret it and translate it to a purification system. It's an open platform, so if you have any sensors that you think it's helpful for indoor air quality or even outdoor air quality monitoring, let us know, because we would love to test it in our platform and actually onboard it, as well as with the purification systems, either HVAC system, smart purifiers, retrofit solution, or smart humidifiers. We can actually onboard it on our platform. And the last but not the least one is the automated adjustment. It will help the building management systems to run much more smoothly. In the back end, we'll do a lot of predictive maintenance, workflow management and all. So as I said, we are focusing on commercial buildings. So the value that we bring with our product to the commercial buildings is that to make sure that the healthy, clean air is provided to the tenants at the lowest possible operating and environmental costs. So energy saving is one of the biggest things that we focus on. And what the value that we help our customer to deliver to their employees, tenants, or their customer is that peace of mind that we can provide to them through Claire. We are right now focusing on individual commercial buildings, business owners, facility managers and operators. But as we move forward, we would like to actually partner up with the service providers, such as third-party maintenance companies, as well as building management system services. We are also looking and talking to some hardware suppliers, like HVAC manufacturers, the OEMs, as well as filter manufacturers and also sensor OEMs. In the long run, we think that with all the data that we can collect, we can actually help the real estate build and design business to come up with an optimized solution or design for the whole airflow system inside each building, which actually provide much better area for everyone to breathe clean air, I can tell. We have this time pressure as well as the excitement and passion to make this thing work. So in 2.5 months or 3 months, we could actually secure 6 pilots. 3 of them are up and running. 2 of them is in Bay Area, which is up and running. The other one is in New York. We also have a couple more, 3 more to actually run. One of them is down in San Diego, and as well as 2 of them here in Bay Area, which we're focusing on to deploy all the sensors in the next couple of weeks. That's our path to market right now. We actually are. I think plug and play was really helpful for us to come out of that maybe corporate shell that Charles talked about. We met a lot of great people, ChemiSense guys, Reality AI, also guys from Inventures are here as well. They helped us to look into how to actually run this project. We are getting a lot of help. I really encourage you to come and talk to us if you think there is anything that you can help us with. You want to have a pilot test at your facility, just let us know. We'll be happy to actually do that. Or if you have any technology in mind or know somebody that can help us to make this thing work or prove the concept, we'll be happy to work with you guys. June is our deadline. It's getting closer. Charles always told us that time is your worst enemy, and we can realize it every day here. But we really looking forward to deliver a very good product by June. So thank you very much for listening to me. I think the last but the least word I want to say is that I really encourage everyone right now to just take a deep breath and then let Claire provide the experience of breathing clean air, because over here all of them are the sensors of Claire standing right now. Thank you.